Good evening, Bastrop. Welcome back to the Bastrop Uncensored podcast. This is our first episode. I'm Judah Ross, and with me tonight is my co-host and Jamie extraordinaire, Jordan Scott. Jordan, how you doing?
Doing real good on this fine Texas Friday night.
Hell yeah! Friday night is for the boys. So there's a lot of podcasts about in Bastrop these days. Seems like every realtor, has a itch to make a podcast, and I think they're all wonderful, and there's a place for all of them. But we want to have some real talk. We want to talk about the things that other people aren't going to talk about, things that you want to know, give you the truth about what's happening in Bastrop County, uncensored. So that's why we're here tonight. Jordan, what do we want to talk about the agenda tonight, or should we just jump right into it?
Uh, we could jump right into it and just like full disclosure, you're saying that every realtor has a podcast and we may be realtors, but I think we just like at the end of the day to hear ourselves yap. So
Oh, totally, totally. This is all about my ego here.
absolute.
Um, yeah.
So we do have some really interesting things to talk about tonight. This one actually, the first thing popped up today, and oh my gosh, you already know it's going to stir the pot. I'll go ahead and pull it up really quick. So,
So So what happened was I was in the colony showing some homes and needed to get back to downtown. So turned out of the colony onto the Charlie Kirk Corridor, formerly known as 969, and just struck me what a beautiful sounding name that was.
oh man, I don't even know how to feel about it because
Yeah.
I wasn't really I wasn't a Charlie Kirk fan. It wasn't that I completely disagreed with everything that he said. He just like
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like his vibe very much. Like,
No, I'm admittedly I wasn't. I didn't say I wouldn't say I didn't like him, but I wouldn't consider myself a huge fan of his um, when he was alive. I respect. I have tremendous respect for anyone on any side that is a warrior for the First Amendment, and I
of
think he
course.
he very much personified that. And I think he had really good messages. Um, he's the figure he's become and the symbol he's become in his death um, is really important as well, and I think it's brought to light some of the virulent hatred um, from certain corners of this country, and um, I think there is benefit in um, if something has if someone like him, if his death can create such strong reactions and generate so much hate. I think that gives credence to his message, and I think it's worth continuing. So
Yeah, absolutely.
someone
And
yeah.
like what he stood for with the First Amendment, that's what I respected about him. Now, did I agree with everything he said? No, but he was one of the few content creators just in the political sphere that was willing to reach out to people that didn't
Yeah.
agree with them, and have a dialogue with them. And people want to call him like racist, misogynist, bigot, like all these buzzwords, right? But at the end of the day, they're not really articulating a clear argument to why he was any of those things. They're just like pulling sound bites from a conversation out of context and saying like, "Oh, this guy is a misogynist because he feels like Americans should value a traditional nuclear family." And it's like
Yeah.
that doesn't make you hate women. That's literally how people have lived for thousands of years, and we're sort of undergoing this new feminist like social experiment. And if you're going to be honest, it's not really working. I mean,
No, no,
let's
the
and
evidence is
and
pretty
I'm not
pretty
even going
clear.
to look at it from like something you can't really measure on a grand scale, like happiness or success or anything. Like, let's look at the success of the society from a birth rate perspective.
Yeah.
Birth rates are dropping, and anytime birth rates drop in a society, it's a pretty strong indicator of decline. So we've become more progressive as a country, and you can see that there are indicators of decline, birth rate being one of those. So it's like Charlie Kirk didn't agree with that. His solution, let's be a little bit more traditional with family.
Yeah.
And it's like, for some reason, that's an extreme idea. And it's like, no, it's not. He wasn't saying anything extreme. He was a moderate conservative at best.
Very much
I
so,
feel
yeah.
like I'm way more conservative than Charlie Kirk was. And I'm actually afraid if people knew the things that I felt about uh, how we should govern or how we should run society, like it completely surpasses someone like Charlie
Yeah.
Kirk. So it's like to label him all these things and get upset about what he has to say, and even to an extent where people are celebrating that he died. It's absolutely baffling to me, especially coming from a side of the political spectrum that preaches tolerance and inclusion and stuff. But it
Yeah.
seems to me that it's like only tolerance and inclusion for people that agree with them. So little bit
Yeah.
hypocritical, but I don't wanna divulge too
And
far
and
to
and and
politics,
and
right?
and no one's going to reach the level of purity that they command. They all end up eating themselves.
Yeah,
Um
and I don't wanna
but
like I said, I don't
yeah.
wanna divulge too much into politics. Let's take a look. So, Michelle Rutherford, I've seen her post a few times online. I don't know who she is, but
Was yeah,
she
she was the original one.
she
She lives in
posted on
Bastrop.
Facebook.
She's got a
Right here, I
nice
have it pulled
flower.
up.
Yeah.
She posted on Facebook the, uh, decision, well, the agenda for the Bastrop County Commissioners to rename 969 as a Charlie Kirk corridor. And obviously, this person is against this because she's asking for people to oppose it. So,
Yeah.
um, 584 comments. Oh, 612. Like, this
Yeah.
is a very engaging post for sure.
Yeah. I'm all about these ratios. Ratios are everything.
Let's take a look.
Um
How is the
yeah, let's
community
go through some of the
how is the
comments.
community feeling about the Charlie Kirk corridor? Let's take a look.
Yeah.
I
All right,
wish we could filter by
read out
most
some of the
liked,
best ones. You
showing
can
up
do
to
most
vote even
relevant. I
more.
feel like that'll get that goes most of the way.
Looks like this is
I
the
want to say
top.
something too, because someone came on here and was making some comment. It was like, well, how would you feel if your 10-year-old daughter was raped and was forced to go through with birth? Like I don't one I don't it's not what he said. Two, I don't agree with everything he said at all. I probably disagree with a lot of things he said. I have, my views on issues like abortion are, I think, a little bit more nuanced and certainly um, probably differ from things that Charlie had in mind. But um, to to think that you have to agree with someone completely um, in order to appreciate their message and their mission is ridiculous. Um, I think this is one of the core problems in our country is that we're not, and I think at the heart of it, the Charlie was really focusing on it, is that it's okay to disagree. um, it's, in fact, it's really important to disagree. Our country was founded by lots of really smart people who had really strong opinions and oftentimes disagreed with each other. And the synthesis of that, of the differing opinions and of working towards a common goal, um, of loving our country, improving our country, is is what we should all be working towards, without trying to shoot each other in the neck. So yeah,
Through all the noise, I wanted to pull up this comment right here because this, to me, if you're in the middle of the aisle and you may not necessarily be liberal or conservative, I think this is a good question to ask.
yeah.
What
Can you read it?
connection?
Because it's
Yeah,
yeah,
what connection does Charlie Kirk have with the local community or even Texas? Right?
yeah,
Is Charlie Kirk an appropriate person to name this corridor of Bastrop after? Right? I
yeah.
think that's a reasonable question. You
No,
know?
it's very good. Yeah, I think um, if you're opposed to this, it's definitely an angle to take. Um, some of the responses there, which I think are really good. I tried going through them. I started looking at the map of Bastrop, and I was like, I'm gonna find all the weird names we have out here that had nothing to do. But we have MLK boulevards in every single city
See,
and
I
town in
didn't
the
want to
world.
say it, but that's the
Mm,
first name that came to mind. Every
yeah,
city in the United States has an MLK Boulevard. But why? MLK didn't visit every single one of these cities or
no, I don't think
towns.
he ever came to Bastrop.
No.
And
But
and
but
you don't
here's
even
the
have
thing.
to. Yeah,
Here's
yeah,
the thing. MLK's message had an impact on
yeah,
all of these different places. And for good reason, he should be recognized for that. And I feel like now, am I comparing Charlie Kirk to MLK? Not at all. However,
no,
he was made an example out of by these people that are absolutely crazy and wanted him dead
yeah,
for wanting just to talk to people and have political discourse, right?
yeah,
And he was killed for that. So the message that was sent there is if we don't like what you're saying, we'll kill you. And I think the reason why people want to honor him is because they're so inherently against that we want to stand up for somebody like Charlie Kirk because if we don't, then we're essentially okaying that you can kill somebody if you don't agree with them for
absolutely.
just saying words. And that's completely wrong. So, like I said, coming from someone who's not Charlie Kirk's biggest fan, it's important to acknowledge the impact that someone like him had on the political spectrum, especially for young people, and what he was trying to do. So, uh,
Absolutely.
if people feel compelled to recognize him in our town, which they did a vigil, I'd say well over 100 people, 100 people
Yeah.
showed up. Uh, like there are a lot of people in our community that respected him and uh, most likely respected his message. So, uh, you know, it's up to them to decide if they want to honor him or not. But just to say that, like, uh, what connection did he have with the local community? Well, if you look at his vigil and all the people that showed up and listened to him, then he definitely impacted uh, a few
Yeah,
people
he had
here
a,
in
he had
town.
a connection with people and communities all across the country, large and small. I knew I'd find some. I'm looking at the map of Bastrop, so looking at like north of downtown, we've
Yeah.
got where do we go here? We got Buchanan Street,
Hmm.
we've got Wilson, we've got not to mention all the trees. Many of these trees probably don't even grow in Bastrop. But we've got all these presidents that died before Texas was even a state.
Yeah.
And to think that someone has to have lived in Bastrop in order to have a street named after them. I mean, look at freaking Tahitian Village. We have made up Tahitian names, made up Hawaiian names
Yeah.
that you can't even pronounce. We should go and rename all of Tahitian. We should have Charlie Kirk 1, Charlie Kirk 2. Be so much easier to navigate.
No,
But
but
most street names are so banal. I mean, you look at like Hunter's Crossing, Bird Dog, Hunter's Point, everything to do with hunting. You look in Pecan Park, or you look at Bastrop Grove. It's all fishes. You know, so I don't know if people brought up Billy Waugh. You familiar with him?
no.
I think I pronounced that right. He was a special forces and like CIA operative. He from like Vietnam through the war on terror, just a real badass. And he grew up here, lives. I think he died here as well. But they renamed the post office after him, and everyone was saying, we should, it should be him, not Charlie. I say both. Like, I think we should rename 71 through Bastrop after Billy.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's beautiful. Look, there's no hiding the fact. Like a big part of why this is important, why people are pursuing this, is because we're currently in a battle to determine what the future of Bastrop is going to be. Like this is a really important time. Um, you'll drive around and you'll see signs from the Republican Party or the Bastrop County Conservatives saying, Bastrop is a Republican stronghold, things like that, and it historically has been. It's still a majority, if you look at voting records, but we're obviously getting a huge influx of people, including myself, coming from Austin, and some of us have some foreign ideas
Yeah.
that don't sit well with the locals. So, I think there's definitely many people that would look at this and say, "Hey, this is an important message to send of uh, the types of people that Bastrop respects, and people who love this country, people who love God, people who love the First Amendment, who love the Second Amendment, um, and sometimes there's value in just proclaiming your beliefs like that. So either way, it's good discussion.
Yeah. Of course.
I encourage everyone to reach out to your commissioners and show up on Monday.
Is the name change gonna cost anything?
It's a couple of signs.
Yeah,
I
because I saw
I
some
don't think
people posting
I
about
don't think this
we
is up.
shouldn't spend money on this, but it's like, what are we spending? Changing
No, we
some signs and documents, right? So
yeah.
I just curious about that, but guess we'll have to
Let's
go
see
out
if there's
on
any
Monday
more comments.
and see how it goes. Where did they get the
Yeah.
idea
I
to
just
change
I
the
just want to
name?
say,
You know?
once you start calling everyone who you disagree with fascist or racist, one, you've lost, but the words lose all their meaning. Um, and it's incredibly harmful and counterproductive to uh, to take words like that and destroy its meaning, because um, there are people with fascist tendencies in the world and in the country, and there are definitely real racists out there. But when you start accusing 50-60% of the country of being like that just because you disagree with what they say, you're already losing.
Yeah. So, well,
Cool. Well, what else we got on the agenda? What are we going to talk about?
so we wanted to go back a little bit into the B3 code.
Yep.
There were a couple of things that we missed in the last time that we talked about it. The most important being that the updates to the code are going to prevent a pretty large uh, flood risk that we had in the previous code. So, for those of you who don't know, Bastrop and just the area surrounding town are very prone to flooding due to uh, just the natural layout of where we are, being so close regionally to a river, all of the runoff systems. I mean, at the end of the day, we're essentially in a giant valley, and water likes to flow through Bastrop. So when we had the B3 code, which was a high density development code, that comes with a lot of extra ground cover. And when there is more ground cover and less surface area drainage, now that increases the amount of water that'll stay on the surface, which essentially increases flooding. So, luckily, uh, we didn't have as much infill because, like we talked about in the last podcast, there were way more problems that prevented people from building. So, in a sense, we were protected from the flooding, like the code protected itself from flooding because you couldn't
by not
build.
allowing anything to be built.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if people did successfully infill Bastrop, then let's put it in Gen Z terms, we're cooked. So
Yeah.
I
6,
think
7 all over the place.
I think Jimmy Crouch pointed that out in the comments on Facebook, and I'm like, duh, that was a huge problem. So,
and it was hilarious and so ironic because they literally their whole, and this was before my time, but going back through the history, like the building moratorium that they put in place, and because we had to redesign this, they used the excuse of the I think it was the Memorial Day floods from like 2015, 2016, and continued development after that. But in reality, they ended up creating a code where there was far more impervious cover and
yeah,
would have led to far
it
more
would have made it
flooding. So,
way worse if anyone could
But
actually figure out how to build in it. So,
yeah, no, but I mean that point really sums up the B3 code completely in that it was um, it didn't accomplish any of the goals that they set out for it to do, and it just made everything worse for everyone.
and I think the consulting company that sold it to us sold it to a bunch of other towns in Texas. One that I can think of mainly Taylor. And
This is worth diving into a little bit. Go on.
I know that after a few years, Taylor, just like Bastrop, kind of figured that, hey, this was an absolute mistake. And if we want to talk about wasting taxpayer money, these consulting companies charged a lot. Consulting in general is just a scummy, scammy business. It's
100%. And this is what every city council does, and every city government does. It's just like they do in the corporate world. Where if you don't want to take responsibility and you don't want to do the hard work and actually figure out a problem, you just say, hey, we're going to hire a consultant, and this consultant's great. They have this resume and they've done all these projects.
and they're going to do all the work for us. In reality, they come in, a lot of them don't know what they're doing. They do a shit job. They charge you $500,000, $1 million, and you're left with something unusable like the B3 code, and then they do it all over again. That a couple of new people are elected, a new manager comes in, and they say, this was ridiculous, this was stupid, we're going to go and hire our own consultant, and spend millions of dollars more. So, but this guy is, I looked into him Matt Lewis of Simplicity Design.
I'm gonna pull it up.
He is the fella.
What do you know about Matt?
So he started his career in San Marcos, and from what I hear, San Marcos is in the process of also fixing up everything he screwed up. Look, it's very much tied to politics and national politics.
This is the guy right here, right?
Yeah.
He's
looks very trustworthy.
He's an avid skateboarder, so
yeah,
he's qualified.
No, it's they. Yeah, exactly. They have distorted views of how the world works, and how cities develop.
Look right here.
The biggest problem with go ahead.
So this is one of his biggest accomplishments. Since starting Simplicity Design, Matt has created the revolutionary, award-winning Bastrop building block code, the most advanced development code in the modern era, through innovation, public engagement, and limited regulation. So
this is
limited
regulations.
Updated. That's
updated
actually
resume
crazy.
Of his greatest accomplishments is this B3 code, which everyone hates, and even the people who worked on it are agree that it needs to be thrown out and redesigned. This guy, this was his first ever project. Now it gets even better. It used to be they took her off the website, but our previous, you know about our previous city manager who was in charge when this guy.
I don't know.
So anyway, she got fired, I think, or she got fired, and she next day she went to work for this guy.
Yeah.
Like, if that's not the swamp right there, I don't know what is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I'm looking at.
Let's look this up. Let's ask our sponsor, Grok, the source of all truth. Bastrop B3 code city manager. Forget her name. What was it, Linda or something like that?
While you're looking that up, I'm looking at his projects. Code diagnosis.
Yeah, take it.
Boardwalk. Castroville. Yep, Taylor. Hutto Downtown Master Plan. Oh, these are just projects. Okay, these are just products or projects, not.
Oh, he's working on this stuff too.
Yeah.
To match current build. I gotta reach out. The Hutto mayor, I forget his name. He's a badass. I follow him on Facebook. He's a smart guy. The branch in Bastrop. What's this? Oh wait, which one? Which community is this? Is this the tiny home community? Yeah, this is the tiny home one off of Pecan, right?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They're the ones designing this 50 unit project in like a 4-acre property. Okay, these guys
just imagine
designed it?
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, man, it's all incestuous.
Oh man.
The shit goes deep, You start diving down the hole and you're like, the conspiracy theory is real.
I mean, okay. I met with these people that own the property on this.
Yeah.
I don't see nothing wrong with them. They're good people, right? And
just like Charlie Kirk.
They I feel like what they say, they're well intentioned, but they're just not looking at the impact of what this type of project would do to the area, mainly
Yeah.
when it comes to flooding.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about
They they
2015, the
they
big
they
floods and
wanted
stuff.
they wanted to use the city's adjoining property as the runoff area
Yeah,
where all of the
this area in town,
retention pond.
like
Yeah.
I'll pull it up on the map since I have the map of
It's the
Bastrop
most
pulled up.
beautiful historic area of town.
It's right here, which is like
Yeah.
here's the baseball fields and stuff, and then uh here is where they want to build. Here, I'll pull up the actual map. Uh, and this whole section of the neighborhood is like flood prone. So
Yep.
imagine infilling all of this right here with this, and you just have a small detention pond behind these houses. It just doesn't make sense. And
Yeah,
I
Linda
kept trying to
Hummel.
tell
Sorry, go on.
them,
Yeah.
I was trying to
Yeah.
tell them, I'm like, guys, listen, you're going to cause a ton of problems. You're going to cause uh, flooding issues, and you're going to need to address the drainage. Like, you're not going to get around it. And they kept pushing back on the engineering it would take to put in a pump system, uh, the agreements they would have for maintenance, all that stuff. They didn't want to do any of it, which I understand. It was super expensive, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like you got to do that. Like all of these houses flooded, and they didn't really do anything to fix it. They put in this property right here. There's a big detention bond, but if this fills up, then it's all going right here. And Pecan Street is elevated, so all that water pushes this way and just kind of stays. So, uh, plus, like, if you're looking at the this map here, you have two small entrances and exits to the property, which are here and here. And it's like, dude, that's somebody's side yard. Like,
I know. I spoke to the neighbors there. That it's literally between two houses. They're just
yeah,
going to turn a tiny little alley into a major road. The amount of it's like people think, oh, it's the idea of tiny homes is so beautiful. Well, they're not getting tiny cars. It's still two people with full size American probably SUVs. You
yeah.
know
But like a
that are going to
property
be
like this is
driving
a
in.
prime example of like why the B3 code just doesn't work in Bastrop. Like this guy right here, uh, he designed all these projects. These are all B3-esque projects. This property, this property would be a B3-esque property to try to like squeeze all these houses into, and it's just like it just doesn't work with our town. And not only like is it bad for properties like this, but just around town, it just didn't work. And at the end of the day, it's like
It would
this
have
guy
completely
just,
ruined downtown.
yeah, they're trying to make Bastrop like a Austin high density city that's walkable and all these progressive buzzwords, but it's
Yeah.
like that's not what Bastrop is. It doesn't work here, and we're just gonna flood everyone out and cause a bunch of problems. So yeah, we
So
missed it.
to understand a little bit deeper, like the philosophy and motivation behind these people is, and John kind of got me onto this a little when I first came to Bastrop. But you look at the Congress for New Urbanism, and like that's organization or that Matt was a part of, and that Linda was a part of, and it's a very much a leftist environmentalist utopian dream of the perfect city. They want to get rid of cars, and guess what? That doesn't work in the United States. We can drastically improve cities, but like we're always going to be a very car dependent society.
Yeah.
And particularly in a place like Bastrop, where it's a rural community, it's a commuter community. We have next to no public transportation. Like the idea we're going to make it walkable. Nobody's going and fucking walking outside in 110-degree heat during
Yeah.
the summer. You want to get in your car, you leave your air conditioned house, get in your air conditioned car, and go to your air conditioned store or office, because that's the only way you can survive. So, they're just these people follow pie in the sky, uh, you know, idealistic viewpoints that time and time again, when you see it getting played out like it
Yeah.
did here with the B3 code, it just turns into a shit show.
Yeah,
And then you
and
just have to fix up the problem. So
like I don't want to make architectural design political, but like when you see this word,
and
this
everything's
is the
political.
indicator right here, equity.
Yeah.
When you see that
Yeah.
word
Oh yeah.
equity, that's red flag, red flag, red flag everywhere.
Mhm.
People that follow equity are normally, let's be honest, a little bit more left leaning. And
Yeah.
it's like they're trying
What
to
they mean by
force,
equity is they want to tear people down in order to bring everyone to the lowest common denominator.
yeah,
And they want um, equality of outcomes, right? Whereas America is a country that believes in equality of opportunity and is not perfect but strives towards that. Equity is the idea of equality of outcomes, that no matter uh, what you do, no matter how hard you work at something, no matter how skilled you may be at something, we should all have the same outcome. So someone who's incompetent, lazy, and unambitious should have the same life and the same opportunities as someone who's working hard and is willing to suffer
yeah.
to
It's
to
like
reach their goal.
instead of having people that want to win, it's
Yeah.
like no, everyone
Yeah.
loses equally.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
But like
perfect way to put it.
you see the intention, right? And it's like these people care so much to their own detriment.
Mhm.
I think the term I like to use is suicidal
Say
empathy.
no, it's
Yeah.
fucking good. Yeah.
To the points where like I'm so empathetic. I want to
Yeah.
change things. I want to pass laws. I want to add regulation. I want to build things how I see fit because I'm empathetic towards people that have less or have different opportunities or et cetera, right?
Yeah.
But to the point that they're ignoring blatant consequences of their actions, and that's the suicidal part of it, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different issues we can go into, but
Yeah. It's like
for
having
example,
open borders.
it's like okay, in the B3 code, they wanted to include uh, trees being planted so you have these nice, beautiful, green, lush cities, right? And it's like, okay, I'm environmentally conscious. Sure, that makes sense until you start implementing it and it doesn't make sense at all. And it adds a lot of extra cost to the city, and the root systems are going to damage roads and et cetera, et cetera. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you're environmentally conscious, but the decision you're making don't reflect that because the trees you're planting are destroying city property, and they're probably just gonna die anyways because like you're not really putting a tree in a system to grow successfully. So it's like little stuff like that, you know? And like you said, hey, I want people that don't have cars to be able to walk to work. Maybe they're lower income, maybe they're disabled or whatever. I want to do this huge sidewalk plan in town. Well, who's going to pay for that? Well,
Also, the freaking
who's going to
sidewalk they
give up
ended up doing
property?
was along 150, which nobody uses. It has
Yeah.
no
Hey, but
I remember when they finished that, and the mayor was at the time was saying like, "Oh, it's amazing! You go around it twice, and it's a 5K race." I have never seen a couple times. There's like some methed out homeless guy that walks along the sidewalk,
yeah,
but no one else is
and you're
walking.
absolutely right. People in Texas, like, they don't want to walk places. It's too damn hot.
Yeah.
So
If you
plus
want to have
everything's so
trails, it's got
spread
to be
out.
shaded.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
most of the neighborhoods, you're gonna have to walk over like 5 to 10 miles to get to work, and maybe you can bike, but it's like, okay, like I don't want to say but bike lanes,
Where
but
Elon's just gonna dig tunnels connecting all the
yeah.
neighborhoods, and then we're gonna be set.
But
We
like,
should,
okay,
dude. This is go on.
to wrap it up, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's funny we dive in this B3 code, find
Yeah.
the guy who did it, go look at part or what part of the groups that he's in, what do they stand for? There's that
Yeah.
word, equity.
Dig into it.
What else? What else
Yeah.
is there? Inclusion, climate,
Yeah.
and equity. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
it's just all but like
This
progressive
is so
slop.
2010s. The country's over
This
this.
is progressive slop that people are fucking
100%.
tired of. Like,
Yeah.
pardon my French, we're fucking tired of this shit. Like, we're tired of forced inclusion. Like you said, there are real racists out there. There are real bad people out there, but the normal person isn't like that. We don't need to fucking force inclusion, equity, all this
Yeah.
bullshit. There are people in this world, no matter what race you are, that will work hard for things and have nice things and build life for themselves, right?
Yeah.
And America gives you the opportunity to do that. Like we
Fuck yeah.
like you can argue there's discrimination at an institutional level, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like, no. How much representation do you need to have? Like what else do you need? Right? We literally had a black president. We literally
Yeah.
had uh we literally have the mayor of the largest city in the country. He's Muslim. Like,
Yeah.
we're included. There are like we have political processes for people of any race or belief to get into power. So I don't know. I have this argument with people all the time, and it's like, well, it's not enough. And it's like, okay, so now you want people that don't agree with you to have to be forced to agree with you. And that's where you're crossing a line. And things like the B3 code, to wrap it all up, it's like
Yeah.
an average Bastropian doesn't want to live in this gridded, like connected city. Like that's just not what Bastrop is. Like
Yeah. Not at all.
they're just forcing their bullshit on us.
Yeah.
And to be quite frank, get the fuck out of here, move to Austin with that bullshit. We don't want to hear
Hell
it.
yeah.
So,
Amen. I say it louder,
yeah.
I came from Austin, but I escaped from Austin. And above all, when I moved here, I came from New York. I came because I wanted to live in Texas, not because I wanted to turn Texas into New York. And I think it's very important, and I think maybe over the past 2 decades, people have gotten a little too shy and polite about it. But like, I asked this question in the group recently because I was hoping to generate at least a good discussion. But like we really need to be talking about this. Like, what are the values of Bastrop? And I think, frankly, things like inclusivity have always been very strong here. I think it's obvious to anyone who moves here. It's just welcoming. Like you're not judged by anything else than your character. And there's a lot of opportunities here. But anyway, I could go on and on. I think I'd sum it up by saying that Charlie Kirk would definitely be against the B3 code.
Well, we've talked about two very divisive things tonight. And I think it would be appropriate to end the podcast on a final topic that everybody, and I mean everyone, can get behind. This BS with the Dar Pro rendering plant that's been terrorizing our town for a very long time now.
we're all getting behind this, right? There's no way that someone would actually be out there defending Dar Pro right now, would there?
I mean, I've talked to people that have like spouses that are employed there, but like they're obviously going to defend it because that's how they put food on their table. So
But I'm like the amount of people that go Dar Pro was here first, um, and um, think that's any excuse for it for any of their behavior. Is the truth is it's not that much, but social media always amplifies the voice of idiots. So
yeah,
here's the thing. Like Texas is a very business friendly, very conservative state, which by the way, like conservatives going back to Teddy Roosevelt are the ones that focused on conservation of the land as well. So I think the left has kind of taken environmentalism as its cause, but it's actually always been very important to conservatives and to Texans. But Texas is pretty lenient in a lot of things, but we have laws by the TCEQ and enforce that you can't spread poisonous gases. It's really simple, like H2S. It's hydrogen sulfide.
is that what we're smelling?
Yeah, it's a poisonous gas. It
Oh
has
my
very,
God.
very serious effects, and it's spreading 10 miles. It covers like 100 square miles.
Dude, it's so bad.
Yeah,
And for those of you who don't know what Dar Pro is, it's an animal byproduct recycling facility. So restaurants, those big like grease barrels you see behind restaurants,
yeah. If you look at the
like
stickers, it says Dar Pro.
animal carcasses that are left over from food production, all of that.
Yeah.
It all gets brought to this facility and it's like boiled and like rendered down into some like gross toxic substance that they then they're making like dog food out of it.
It's dog food, which by the way, I want to mention our sponsor, Farmer's Dog. Are you familiar with them?
Farmer's Dog? Are you
No,
serious?
they're actually not. They sponsor Rogan, and they make fresh food, I think, delivered to your house for your dogs.
Do they want to sponsor us at this point?
Oh, everyone's gonna want to sponsor us. This thing's gonna blow up.
Okay.
Number one podcast in Bastrop County. No, but I would say like these are my favorite issues to pursue and to fight. Ones that I'm at least like I would say it's 80-90% of the county is very much behind this. And again, most of us, myself included, I mean at this point I think they may have crossed the line and we need to make an example. But like my goal is not to shut them down. Like in no way do I ever want to take away jobs from local Bastropians.
Of course.
It's literally just asking that I don't know what their market cap is right now, but a $20 billion, $100 billion company just invest the money. The technology is there. Like there's no reason for they're just being cheap. And look at the history of Dar Pro. This has happened all over the country. There's been massive lawsuits. There's been actions like this. There's multiple instances like horrible safety violations. Multiple workers have been killed, like in plant explosions. With this company, they've had plants shut down. They've ruined neighborhoods, and we're just. I'd say first we're asking, but we're demanding that they be a good neighbor. If you want to be here, you got to be a good neighbor.
So I'm on Dar Pro's website.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, maybe ours is a dog food plant, but here's what they're claiming to make: feed, food, and fuel. And I clicked on food. I'm like, food. Oh, they're rendering
like
everything
caviar.
down. All these leftover, like probably like pieces of meat and stuff to make gelatin and collagen. So collagen is actually a popular ingredient in like dietary supplements.
Yeah.
It's like good for your
the skin or something.
your skin and stuff. Let's see. What is it good for? Okay. I don't know if it's skin or if it's like
Yeah, I think
uh
it's skin. That's what my wife tells me.
okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was like
that's
hair.
disgusting, but I'm sure these are
Well,
medical
if anyone
ingredients.
wants to buy like cheaper, like non-organic collagen products, they're probably getting it from a product like from a plant like this.
Yeah.
Um, and it says they're also making uh like diesel, like biodiesel, which okay, that's kind of cool. Whatever, you know.
Where can you actually get biodiesel? Like, if say I want to run my truck on biodiesel, can I like
I
go to
don't
the
know.
Dar Pro plant? Or have you heard of a gas?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that's what.
pull up and fill up.
Yeah, let's see, biodiesel
Like, how do I buy it?
Bastrop. Yeah, because I the only person I knew a guy once. I used to work with him who was like this old school hippie. He was a cool dude, but he had a truck he converted to run on biodiesel, and he
Yeah,
would just like
we'll
use
look
old
later.
cooking oil. But it seems like I don't know how practical it actually is.
Yeah. I think our biggest issue with like Dar Pro is like it just felt disrespectful as a local resident where it's like we're complaining, and it just seemed like they're just brushing it off, like whatever, like try and do something about it. And they had to take to the point where yeah, they had to get TCQ involved, and it's like it shouldn't have to get to that point, right? We
Yeah.
shouldn't have to I wouldn't say weaponize, but like leverage a government institution against you because you're just being a bad neighbor at the end of the day. It's
Yeah.
like co-fully or coexist with us.
Yeah.
What you're doing has uh toxic and harmful byproducts that make living in Bastrop unpleasant when those fumes and stuff are blowing into town, and it's just like not a good look on their part where they didn't even try to address anything, or they didn't even give a shit at all is like
Yeah.
the message they were conveying. So
100%.
um to any future businesses just in Bastrop in general, it's like we're a small town still. I know we're growing, but like your reputation is very important here.
Yeah.
And when that's the type of message you send to the community, like we're gonna do something about it. We're not just gonna
Yeah.
sit back and just take it. No, like
Fucking Bastrop. Don't fuck with us.
come at us. Ask Austin when they try to take our fucking water. Get
Yeah,
the fuck out of here.
exactly.
Get the fuck out of here. So
And you know, everyone hates on Elon, God bless him, but they were amazing neighbors when they were trying to their initial plan was to create their own little pocket. I'll talk about this story all the time.
yeah,
Water treatment plant, and you know, good friend of the show, Chap, I think led the effort against it, and there was a lot of members of the community that came out and spoke, and they ended up, you know, SpaceX ended up contributing a sizable amount of money towards a new wastewater line to connect to the city's plant. And you know, going back to jobs, I'm like, Dar Pro provides like, I don't know, 40, maybe max 100 jobs. Probably not very well paying, and obviously like not a very enjoyable job from
yeah,
most of the stories I've heard from people. But like SpaceX has come in here in like 2 years and has 1,000+ jobs.
yeah.
You know, so jobs are good, but like look at the numbers, you know. Man, there's so much more to talk about.
I know. I like to keep
Yeah.
our podcast under an hour, so
No, that's good. Keep them coming
as
back
things
for more.
happen, as things come up, we'll be
Yeah.
here. We'll go in depth, we'll go into detail.
Yeah.
We'll be your number one source for information in Bastrop. So
Absolutely.
I think
Bastrop Uncensored.
I think
You
that
want the
wraps up
truth?
episode 1. We're kind of like playing around with names for
Yeah.
the pod. So
Any suggestions? Comment below. Jordan's gonna finish this up and post it in the group and online, and we're gonna post this on Reddit too. We're gonna get everyone
oh shit.
watching this. Yeah. Yeah. But comment. I want this to be a discussion. You know. I want to
You can disagree with us. You can call us names. Just engage. No, I want to hear people's thoughts on issues like this. I think it's really important. I think it's important that there's platforms where we can all get together and speak, without killing each other, and disagree, and maybe learn a thing or two from each other, and just use dialogue to try and solve problems. So that's what I hope for.
All righty. Well, it was
Peace
a
out.
pleasure, and
Yeah, this was awesome.
see you guys soon.